A 104-year-old war veteran just made King Charles say something he almost never says in public, and the moment was caught on camera. If you love heartwarming royal moments like this one, subscribe right now because stories like this deserve to be seen by more people. This happened on July 15, 2026, during King Charles's historic visit to the Isle of Man, his first trip there since becoming Lord of Man after his coronation. While he was there, he stopped by Heroes on the Water, a charity on Port Soterick Beach that supports military veterans and emergency service personnel through kayaking and other outdoor activities. And waiting for him was a familiar face, James Fenton, a 104-year-old World War II veteran who served as a bombardier with the 178th Field Regiment Royal Artillery during the brutal Burma campaign against Japanese forces. Charles and Fenton had actually met before, back in 2025, during the 80th anniversary commemorations of VJ Day in London, and it was Fenton himself who had urged the king to come visit his island home. And true to his word, Charles showed up. The king walked over, took the veteran's hands in his, and with a warm smile said, "I wasn't expecting to find you here." And Fenton, without missing a beat, replied, "I've been waiting for this for quite some time. I hope you're all well, sir." Charles then sat down right next to him for a proper chat, and this is where things got really honest. Fenton asked how the king was doing, and Charles answered, "Not too bad, thank you very much, but I don't know how you do it." He then added, "It's bad enough at my age, but yours." Fenton simply said, "We just have to keep going." And Charles, with that classic dry sense of humor of his, responded, "Well, it's terrible because bits keep dropping off, but anyway, there we are." Now, if you don't know why that line hits so hard, here's the context. King Charles announced his cancer diagnosis back in February 2024, and he has been undergoing treatment ever since. For a long time, updates on his health were vague and carefully worded, the kind of formal statements you'd expect from Buckingham Palace, but this moment was different. This was raw, funny, human, and completely unscripted. A 104-year-old man who survived one of the deadliest campaigns of World War II, sitting there genuinely concerned about his king's health, and the king responding not with a rehearsed line, but with actual humor about what it feels like getting older while fighting an illness. That is the kind of exchange you simply cannot fake. And the timing of it matters too. Buckingham Palace had recently confirmed that the king's recovery had reached a notably positive stage, with a spokesperson saying His Majesty has responded exceptionally well to treatment, and that ongoing measures will now move into a precautionary phase. So when Charles made that joke about bits dropping off, it landed as a man who has clearly been through something difficult, but who still has enough spirit left to laugh about it in front of a veteran who has been through his own kind of difficult. This wasn't the first time an emotional moment like this happened between Charles and a World War II veteran either. Back in August 2025, during that same VJ Day anniversary event, a 105-year-old veteran named Captain Yavar Abbas stepped up to the microphone and went completely off script. Before doing his scheduled reading, he turned and said he wanted to salute his brave king, who was there with his beloved queen despite being under treatment for cancer. Abbas, who had beaten cancer himself 25 years earlier, spoke about his personal connection to what Charles was going through, and when the cameras cut to the king and Queen Camilla in that moment, both of them were visibly emotional, wiping tears from their eyes in front of everyone. So this isn't just one isolated sweet moment, this is part of a pattern. Veterans who lived through the hardest years of the last century keep finding ways to connect with Charles on something deeply personal, his health, his resilience, his humanity, and every single time the king responds not like a distant monarch, but like someone who is genuinely moved. During this same Isle of Man visit, Charles also addressed Tynewald, which is recognized as the world's oldest parliament still in continuous operation, and he even spoke some words in the ancient Manx language while he was there, showing real effort to honor local tradition and history. But out of everything that happened on that trip, it's the quiet conversation with James Fenton that people cannot stop talking about. Here's my honest take on this.
In a world where most public figures give you nothing but rehearsed sound bites, watching a king sit down with a 104-year-old war hero and just be real, dry humor, mild self-deprecation, and genuine warmth, all in one short exchange, that's rare, and it's exactly why this clip is spreading everywhere. It reminds you that behind the crown and the ceremony, there's just a man dealing with illness the same way so many of us do, by finding a little humor in it and leaning on the people who understand. I think it's a genuinely touching moment, and it says a lot of good things about both men involved, one for showing up despite everything he's going through, and the other for waiting years just to say thank you in person. If moments like this move you the way they moved me, make sure you are subscribed and following for more, because these are the stories worth remembering, and there is so much more happening around King Charles and the royal family that you will not want to miss.